And we continue to follow breaking developments out of the Middle East tonight. Israel and Hamas have agreed to a ceasefire deal to end 15 months of devastating fighting. And reaction is pouring in from around the globe. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Lena Tillett.
And I'm Dan Haggerty. We have team coverage for you tonight. WRAL's Brian Schrader is monitoring developments in the Live Center. Brett Neese talked with a local rabbi. But first, we want to get right to Brian in the Live Center with the latest. Brian.
We're just hearing from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Apparently, he called President-elect Donald Trump and then called President Biden this afternoon to thank them for their help in negotiating this ceasefire arrangement. He also discussed with President-elect Trump a visit to Washington to talk about this deal as well as other matters. Let's go through some of the initial details that we're learning about this ceasefire. Phase 1, it takes effect on Sunday. Israel has agreed to release more than 1,000 Palestinian prisoners, and Hamas has agreed to release 33 hostages, including 2 Americans, and one of those reportedly is Keith Siegel, a Chapel Hill native. He and his wife Aviva were kidnapped from their home in October of 2023. There's been a lot of local interest in his story. And WRAL's Brett Neese talked with a Raleigh rabbi today about some of the reaction to this big development in this story. Brett?
Yeah, Brian, I talked to Rabbi Eric Solomon of the Beth Meyer Synagogue here in Raleigh. We talked about Keith Siegel and the hopeful return that he will be released in that first phase. But Rabbi Solomon said that they are still on pins and needles at this point. They know that there is a long way to go, and things really are changing by the hour at this point. And he said that the ceasefire deal, they are hopeful for it because it includes the release of those prisoners over the course of the next few weeks. And it includes multiple Americans like Keith Siegel. And Rabbi Solomon says that the release is really just the beginning, though, for a much longer journey for these prisoners and these hostages, because it's not clear what kind of condition they are in.
His mother died, Phyllis Siegel, may she rest in peace, while he was in captivity here in Durham and Chapel Hill. This is incredibly close to home. We have a seat in our pulpit of our synagogue dedicated to all the hostages, but really represented by Keith Siegel. It is so close to our hearts. We pray every day for this. So we are so hopeful. We are so waiting, bated breath.
Rabbi Solomon also told me that there is worry that the deal really could fall through over the next few weeks because before hostages are released. However, he says that they still are hopeful and they still are believing in this deal as a step forward for peace for both sides of this conflict. Live in Raleigh, Brett Neese, WRAL News.